Loyalty, we are back with the tier list videos, and we have never done pitchers, so today we're going to be starting it off with pitchers. Now there are going to be two pitchers that we do not have enough information to go ahead and conclude whether they are top 5 pitchers or not. We don't have enough players using them, and me personally, I don't have enough experience with those players either. But what I did to make this top 5 for you all is I looked at all of the top players in terms of rating, lifetime, and I seen the pitchers that they use most commonly, and those pitchers are going to be reflected amongst the top 5 as well as the honorable mentions. Now, all I ask is for you to go ahead and hit that like button, red subscribe button, turn on the channel notifications, and everything else that you need, from how to become a member to the Discord to all of my social medias, in which you have Twitch as well, where we stream each and every single day at 1 a.m. Eastern. All of that is going to be inside the description box. Now, the two pitchers that we don't have enough information, unfortunately, yet for is going to be Vita Blue, and let me change my camera so you guys, well, this camera is perfect right here since we're doing pictures actually, is Vita Blue and Fergie Jenkins. So these two pitchers, we need to use them a lot more. I need to see top players using them a lot more before I can conclude yes, they do make the cut for top 5, or no, they do not make the cut for top 5. But let's talk about their attributes nonetheless. So let me explain to you all how each attribute works for pitchers. Stamina is how many pitches a pitcher can throw before getting tired or running out of energy. Hit per 9 is when an opponent squares up a baseball. The higher the hit per 9, the less likely that ball is going to land for a hit, let alone leave the park. K per 9 is the size of the PCI. The higher the K per 9, the smaller the PCI is for your opponent. Walk per 9 is similar to control. It's how they control the ball. And then home run per 9, it does not impact online gameplay. They took it off years ago. And then last but not least, pitching clutch is when runners are on base. The higher the pitching clutch, the more likely that pitcher is to get out of that situation, and the better he's going to pitch in that situation as well. The lower the pitching clutch, the more likely that pitcher is going to make a mistake, hang a pitch, or anything along those lines. So let's go into the honorable mention, and to start off for the honorable mention, it's going to be Tom Glavine. Now Tom Glavine, I faced him on All-Star difficulty in today's ranked seasons video, so if you haven't checked that out, make sure you go ahead and check that out. He has a good hit per 9 at 92, a decent K per 9 at an 87, really good walk per 9 at a 95, pitching clutch at 93 is also good. I love his arsenal of sinker, circle change, sweeping curve, slider, four seam. Now the only downside to Tom Glavine is the sweeping curve is very similar to the slider, but the beautiful thing about it in terms of the pitch speeds is they have a 14 miles per hour differential. Tom Glavine could easily replace one of these top 5 pitchers if you do not perform well with these top 5 pitchers. That's why he's considered an honorable mention. But looking throughout the list of all the top players, a ton of them use Tom Glavine, but not a ton of them use Tom Glavine more than they use these next 5. So starting it off at number 5 on this list, we are going all the way to Atlanta, and it's going to be Greg Maddox. Now Greg Maddox, compared to Tom Glavine, they have the same hit per 9. He has a little bit better K per 9, a little bit worse walk per 9, and then when it comes to pitching clutch, he also has a lot better pitching clutch as opposed to Tom Glavine. The good thing about Greg Maddox is he throws 2 meta fastballs, which are the sinker and the cutter, and both of them move in opposite directions and they come nearly at the same speed. So that's a humongous plus to start things off. And then he has that vertical off speed in that circle change at 79 miles per hour, and he has a curveball too that comes in at 74 miles per hour. So there's a 5 miles per hour differential between that curveball and the circle change, and then the break differential as well is also going to allow you to fool hitters a ton. And then the slider is going to come in at 84, the cutter coming in at 90. They both have the same movement, is also going to allow you to fool hitters as well. So he has 3 ways to fool you. With the sinker and the cutter combination, that's going to fool you because they move in opposite directions horizontally, and then the circle change and the curveball can fool you because they are both vertical movements with different break, different speeds. And then the slider and cutter combination can also fool you because one is a lot faster with less movement, and then the other one is a lot slower with more movement, so you can be out early or just too late thinking that it was something else. But Greg Maddox is definitely one of the most used starting pitchers inside the top players' arsenal. Number 4 is going to be one of the highest overalls in the game, and it shouldn't come as a surprise in my opinion. It's going to be Team Affinity Season 2 Cliff Lee. Now the hit per 9, it's close but underneath the previous two guys. The K per 9s, he blows them out of the water. Walks per 9, he probably has the best control out of any pitcher. And then the pitching clutch, it is not that good at all at a 72. So that's the biggest downside that Cliff Lee has. But if you're able to dot your spots, you're going to be straight. He throws a sinker, a cutter, a circle change, knuckle curve, and a four seam. So the sinker and cutter, once again, same thing as Greg Maddox. They work with each other. Coming in at different pitch speeds is also very, very good, because that 5 miles pitch differential on Hall of Fame and Legend pitch speeds is no joke. It might even not be a joke to some of you at All-Star difficulty. Then the circle change and knuckle curve, both vertical movement off-speed pitches. They have an 8 miles per hour differential, so they work off of each other. Obviously, they have different breaks as well. And then a flat four seam is also going to go ahead and help out the sinker and cutter, because the first two meta fastballs that he throw, they move in opposite directions, and then one of them is flat. So whenever you see something coming at you that looks to be a lot faster than his off speed, you have to try to predict which one of the three it is before you go ahead and swing. And then with the off speed, obviously it's going to be a little bit easier. All you have to predict is between two off speed pitches, and then just time it and hit it as well. So that is going to come in at number 4. Coming in at number 3 is going to be one of the monthly awards, and that is Corbin Burnes. Now, he has a higher hit per 9 than pretty much every pitcher we've discussed so far, with the exceptions, of course, of Fergie and Vida. But then the K per 9, he has it lower than Cliff Lee, but higher than the other two guys. Walks per 9, he has it at an 89. With pinpoint, you generally don't try to worry too much about the walk per 9, but it's still an important attribute because it dictates how big that circle is, as well as the control. And then the pitching clutch at a 77, not too high either. It's similar to Cliff Lee, but a lot of people love using him because he has that same combination as Greg Maddox. The sinker and cutter, both of them come in pretty quick. At 95 miles per hour, it means they most likely can reach 97, 98 miles per hour. And on Hall of Fame Legend pitch speeds, 97 plus is no joke, especially when they move in opposite directions. Slider and then a changeup curveball. Slider works with the cutter. The changeup and curveball, they feed off of each other. One comes in at 88, the other one at 81. That's 7 miles per hour pitch differential. It's also very important, and the break as well. Corbin Burnes, definitely top 3 pitchers that are used on the top 50 players when it comes to ranked seasons. Then we go to number 2. Number 2 is going to be, no surprise either, LYLT. Now, 118 hit per 9 is amazing, and then his K per 9 at 94 is really good as well. Then you look at his walk per 9, 93. That gives you a little bit of a worry, but then the control picks it back up, it being an 86, and then his pitching clutch being a 112 is also really good. Now the sinker and cutter, as we have been discussing this entire time, they work off of each other. The curveball and slider, those two off-speed pitches, they don't work off of each other. So that's really the only downside this LYLT card has, because the curveball is vertical off-speed, and then if the hitter can read the curveball, he's just going to sit back, draw out the PCI, and try to drive it. And then the slider is more of a horizontal off speed, but the beautiful thing about his slider coming in at 87 is that it is allowed to work with that cutter. So if you mix up the cutter and the slider, you'll be in good hands. Obviously, mixing up the sinker and the cutter, you'll be in good hands. And then whenever you see a pitch that looks like a fastball, you're going to have to try to predict between the 3 fastballs that he throws. The only pitch that you can really just sit back and try to read as perfect as you can and possibly hit as best as you can is probably going to be that curveball, unless the break is absolutely disgusting, which it could be absolutely disgusting. If we go ahead and look at the break, the curveball has a 99 break, so that's why he's absolutely disgusting. And the way you toggle these attributes in terms of pitches is by pressing down on your right-handed analog stick, just in case you're worrying or curious. Now, the number 1 pitcher in this game, it shouldn't be no surprise. Like, absolutely none. It's Edward Cabrera. Edward Cabrera, hit per 9 101, really good. K per 9 97, really good as well. Walk per 9 74, not good at all, but it's workable, especially with an 84 control. And then pitching clutch at an 86, it's cool as well. Now, what he has that most of the pitchers, if not none of the pitchers previously had, is outlier 1 on that sinker, meaning although it says 95, that sinker is going to be coming in at like 99, touch 100. I don't know if it touches 101, 102, because I don't even pay attention to the pitch speed. I just try to hit it as soon as it comes out of his hands. But he has a funky delivery. He has great pitches. Each pitch works off of each other. The sinker is going to work with the fastball because the timing for a sinker in this game is probably the most difficult pitch to time. So obviously it's going to work with a fastball because you're going to be very early on that fastball as opposed to the sinker, since you're trying to hit it as soon as it comes out of his hands. And then the curveball is going to work with the changeup, and then the slider, it doesn't really work with anything, but at the same time, since you're worried about 4 other pitches, it's very hard to hit his slider as well. It's very hard to hit any of his pitches, to be completely honest with you. Now yeah, you might be able to rock him on all-star difficulty, but when you get to Hall of Fame and when you get to Legend against Edward Cabrera, I'm telling you, it's no joke at all. Now those are the top 5 pitchers in the game. This is probably the rotation you're going to aspire to build, especially as you look to progress throughout ranked seasons. If you did end up enjoying today's content, please make sure to go ahead and hit that like button, hit that red subscribe button. Don't forget to follow me on all my socials, or just click on that description box and you'll get everything you need. Have a blessed day and night. Stay positive, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.